Yeah. Why jungle? Well, so I think I had freshly... Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to just talk about the breaks. Because at one point, music was just like really repetitive and kind of fun. Or kind of like repetitive, where it's just kind of like, it just did the work for you. And I think as a kid, I was really heavily influenced by like, let's say like 2 Live Crew. And more like the boom, 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 boom. And more like percussive, like that, right? And at one point I thought I was probably gonna get into house music, and I was even like buying like house music that sounded like disco and shit like that, like the Hustlers Convention or whatever. But I was always really intrigued more by like wilder, crazier, more syncopated shit because of having like a big, basically dedicating my life to like being a battle DJ. And being a battle DJ meant at least having like 8 to 10 different scratch patterns. And scratch patterns are just like different rhythms, like da 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 da, or da 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 da, or da 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 da, or da 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 da, or bear, but you know what I mean? Like all those patterns were already installed in my head because I had to like execute them as a DJ. And through my influences of that, and then moving to Costa Rica, and then being influenced to like reggae, soca, merengue, cumbia, you know, rancheras, and like European shit and fucking American shit, like radio shit. It was almost like I started to obtain even more music and more sound, and kind of like compressing all these styles into this one like crazy thing. When I finally moved back to the United States and basically went to jail for like a week for some fucking graffiti shit, I remember my dad actually coming in from Costa Rica being like, dude, what are you doing? Like, the fuck are you doing in jail? Like, you don't belong in jail right now. You have to survive. Like, you gotta like make this shit happen. Like, I can't support you, and your mom is not supporting you. So then I remember being like, fuck, I gotta take DJing a lot more serious, because I thought I was gonna be just a painter, like just come from the street, get into the gallery. And I just started going to the record stores, and I ran into this record called Inner City Life by Goldie. And I remember like listening to it on 33, I'm like, this is fucked up, because it doesn't sound like a breakbeat record, but at 45 it sounds too fast, but I fucking like it because the cover is sick as fuck. And so I went up to the dude at the record store, at BPM record stores, I remember, on Polk Street, and I was like, dude, what the hell is this? He's like, oh my God, that's like jungle. Like, you know, do you like that shit? And I was like, yeah, this is sick. It's like, there's more here in the back. And he pulled out like an Omni Trio and a bunch of like green sleeve stuff. And I was like, this is like a style? And they're like, yeah, it's jungle music. It's from the UK, I guess. It's kind of annoying. But someone at the record store was just buying the music, and I was like, that's it. This is it. This is a style of music that I'm gonna fucking dominate, and I'm gonna learn how to DJ it. And it was easy as fuck. It was just like the rhythmic aspect of it, the wild shit, the fucking dance hall, the halftime bass lines, the super wild beats, the dude screaming in the background. It was literally like real life sci-fi shit happening in like an urban area. And it sounded urban to me. It was like super b-boy, and I was like, this is the future of music, man. This is it. Like, amazing styles are gonna come out of this. And you know, and so I went in hard. Fucking convinced one of my drug dealer homies, bro, I need you to fucking give me like $100. He's like, well, what for? Like, I need to buy some records. I need to make a mixtape, and I need to fucking like push this shit. Like this, I relate to this shit. Like, I really feel it. Then later on, I just started like, met up with like Shoban, and met up with like Ocean, and these are the people that are throwing like the early jungle parties, and just made my way in playing those parties, and then created my own crew of like producers. And then like that's where the real shit started, you know. I was like collecting DJs that were liking the music and bringing them on and putting them on. And then I went to London and I met up with Goldie and I met up with 4 Hero. I met up with T-Power or Sour Records. T-Power wasn't there. Met up with Trouble and Bass. I met up with D-Bridge and Maldini and Genotype. And I remember like going to Goldie like, man, like, how do I get this shit started? And I was over at the Blue Note. He's like, mate, you got to start making your own music. The only way to like keep this thing sustainable, like being a DJ, is not good. I mean, it's good, but like you want to make the music. And I had already gotten that information from Jonas Sharp. I'm like, yeah, my friend Jonas Sharp told me, he's like, yeah, just make the music and keep your crew tight and just like don't give in. Like, we got to make this a thing. Because at the time it was like people were just saying it was going to be a fad. And I was kind of like his little like, yes, sir, sir, yes, sir. You know what I mean? And I just came back, and I came back like fucking baptized by the originators, Mark and Digo from 4 Hero, Goldie, and meeting up with, you know, D-Bridge and getting a lot of studio game from those dudes, and coming back here and just being like, I fucking get it. And on top of that, visiting Nicky Black Market, going to Black Market Records. On top of that, like cutting dub plates, because we were already making our own music. So when we met up with D-Bridge and Maldini, they're like, yeah, we go to the cutting house. You know, it was just like this amazing fucking time where like things were like, things were like spoke about and people went to places and shit got done, and we went to the club and we met fucking, you know, DJ Hype, and saw DJ Hype play, and the first time we heard Super Sharp Shooter, like, holy fucking shit, you know what I mean? And we knew it was like, it's so large and it was so exciting. And then coming back to the United States, like, I knew like, yeah, this is it. Like, you know, I always knew it was like it was my first step into like really becoming who I really wanted to be, because the situation, my living situation was fucked up, and Jungle in some weird way gave me like the tool or the inspiration to like be more, like basically survive, you know? And you know, it's a style that every time I make music, I always add a little bit of jungle into what I do, because it's just like a part of my like growing up as like a young dude. And I'm just glad that like it's still happening, that we still have clubs like Stamina that are like pushing it, and that like now jungle and drum and bass has now become more of like an international cultural thing, you know? Now to me, drum and bass and jungle is like, it's a culture. It's culture for bass music. Like, you could always go back to that music and know that, like, you know, it's like being a house DJ and going to Chicago, you know? Listening to Chicago music, like, that's your culture. A little bit of disco, that's your culture, you know? And it's all hip hop, but it's like this evolution of it all. And I'm crazy as fuck, and my brain synapses run fast as hell, and why not jungle? Jungle saved my life.